All right, my activity is find the mystery word and the skill that it emphasizes onset and rhyme and identifying the different parts of the words and putting them together to form a word. So for the video, I focused on first grade, but the book says first to second grade. But I think you could use this activity for any grade, you're just using that grade sight words. So I have sight word cards with different first grade sight words on them, just short little CBC sight words. And I'm just gonna go through how you would teach the activity to your kids. So you would tell your students to look at your word wall, so they could, it's like their word bank or whatever, and you would say, look at the word wall while I give you the instructions, but don't say the word. When you come up with the word in your brain, don't say it out loud, keep it to yourself. And you would start by just going through the different sounds of the words with them. So you would say, okay, the word I'm thinking of has the sound in it. You would give them a second to look at the word wall and find the words that have the sound in it. Then you would say, the word I'm thinking of has a in it, and it starts with the r sound. So you give them a second to look for words that have the sound and the r sound. And then you would say, and this word ends with the sound. So they would know it had the sound, it started with the r sound, and it ended with the sound. Give them a second to look, and hopefully they would be able to figure out that the word was run. Another example would be, the word I'm thinking of has the sound in it. Give them a second to look for words that have the sound in it. The word that I'm thinking of also starts with a k sound. Give them a second to look for the words that have an and a k sound. And then you would say, the word I'm thinking of ends with a t sound. So they would say, okay, k, and t. And they would look for the word that has those three letters and sounds in it. And they would hopefully be able to come up with cat. You could do this with all different kinds of words that you could think of. You could do it with story words or sight words, CBC words, whatever you wanted to use it with. This is specifically about sight words, but you could adapt it to whatever was appropriate for your students. So this activity can be done small group, whole group, or individual, depending on needs and basic needs of the students. If you had a student that was struggling with like maybe the sight words from the previous grade, you could use it with them to help them get better memorizing those. The goal of this activity is to use the onset and rhyme, like I said, and to put these sounds together and then name the words from the word wall. So this helps with the memorization of the word wall, the words on the word wall, being able to read those, and also just with the onset rhyme manipulation. So at the beginning of the year, you would use this, but pretty straightforward. You would probably do the letters in order, basic words, but as the year progressed and depending on the grade, you would maybe do the sounds out of order, or do longer words, or just something to challenge the students more. But you always need to be sure that you use the sounds of the words that the letters make, and not like, oh, this word has the A and a C and a T, or it makes it way easier and it also doesn't emphasize the sounds that the letters make. So as the word wall grows, you would use maybe silent letter words or digraphs or blends, or just stuff that would challenge the students more as they continue on in their grades. Especially in the upper grades, you would use harder words, more complex spelling patterns, I guess. So for the assessment, to use this for assessment, you could informally assess, like if you were doing this whole group, you could just kind of watch and listen to what people are saying. Are they getting it? Are they not getting it? Who's getting it? Who's not getting it? So to kind of help you mold your small group instruction or your individual instruction. Or if no one's getting it, you could continue to do it in your whole group instruction. But you could also, so you could informally assess as a whole group, but you could also use it as a form of kind of made me think of a spelling test. You could call these things out and the students would be silent. They wouldn't be discussing with their neighbors. You could say, okay, this word has the sound and r and n. They would have to look on the word wall, figure out what word it was, and write it down. So it'd be kind of like a mystery word wall spelling test, I guess. But it wouldn't be testing memorization of, okay, you spell run, R-U-N. It would be testing, okay, I know it has so I know it has a U and a R and an R and an N and an N, and then I can spell out run. I think that would be a more effective way to maybe test spelling skills and also letter sound knowledge and the onset and rhyme. using this activity would also help the teacher, like I just said, recognize what students are struggling with, letter sound, like what sound goes with what letter, and how you can blend those sounds and combine them to make a full word. So you could, like I said, you could use this with any grade sight words, and even in upper grades you could do it with, like, if you're reading a book that has some challenging words in it, you could try to use this activity to help them sound out those words. But for first grade, I think the best way to use it would be for sight words. So on your sight word wall, it's kind of like, I think it's a really cool way to test your students' letter sound knowledge in a way that's like a mystery, and it'll be more fun than just saying, okay, goes with the letter N. That's not really going to engage very many students, but giving them like, oh, it's like a treasure hunt. Maybe you could give a prize if students got it. I don't know. But I think this is a really cool way to assess letter sound knowledge and onset and rhyme. And like I said, you could use it in a spelling test form, or you could just informally assess as students were doing it. Whole group and small group, you could assess it like just listening to, but it'd be more on a personal level. You'd be able to hear more students talking. And then one-on-one, you could, like I said, you could use it maybe if that particular student is struggling with sight words that everyone else has already kind of learned. They just need extra help before they can move on to the next set of sight words. So I just think it's a really good activity to assess onset and rhyme and letter sound relationship, and even can be used to help spelling and if they're able to spell the word, they'll be able to read it and see it when they're reading.